We are recording, and I'm going to share my screen 1 second. So you can see the player assessment score, or an example of the player assessment up in front of us, guys. And it should be pretty easy to work out that if we look at Alice Copestick, for example, that her lowest scores are where she scored ones. Yeah. So where she scored ones. And according to the email that I sent, the priority would therefore be the individual components of that. So if you look at the ones where she scored one, protecting the pivot, it might be relevant to her or not. Grace, you would know, given that you're our academy coach. Small group defence is obviously working in a group, but that's the lowest one that she scored. So we could definitely focus on that. And then a general understanding of attacking principles. I've mentioned that you can check the FTEM document that will have some of the more key language around coaching these aspects or giving feedback on these aspects. But essentially, you're just looking to look for the area where they scored weakest and where on the total at the bottom here, and give those as the feedback. And then conversely, where they scored strongest. And again, there can be some coach discretion here. So if you're thinking about Alice Copestick, Grace, beg your pardon, Grace, is it you or Ollie that coaches Alice?
That's me.
It's you, yeah. So with you being her coach, you would know perhaps what her strength is out of the parts in shooting, positional play stuff. So you can use your discretion on that one. Does it make sense to everybody? Any questions?
The A1 and A2 is who is A1 and A2?
So RAC is you.
Yeah, originally.
Assessor 1 and Assessor 2. This is what happened at the tournament when you weren't there, Bruno.
I know that. Yeah.
Assessor 1 feedback, Assessor 2 feedback.
Okay.
Be more or less straightforward from that point of view. So I'll stop sharing that screen. I'll probably do a reminder of this whilst I'm just delaying. The reminder of this at the end. But another thing that would like you to do is a small task this weekend, which won't be too time consuming. When you're coaching this weekend, get back to sharing the screen. Where are you? It's been so long since I've done a Zoom, I've lost all idea of where the things are. So at your sessions this weekend, what we would like you to do is get yourself a microphone, connect it to your phone, and use your dictaphone to record your verbal interactions with the players through the whole session. I'll put a little tip to put your phone on flight mode, but what Joao and I would like to have a look at is all the different examples of the 5 statements below. So if you pick out examples of enabling participants to take responsibility for their own learning, how you observe and analyze strengths and weaknesses, and so on. So these 5 components, these are a part of the level 2 coaching criteria. They're the 5 ones that normally get missed in the level 2 assessments, but also things that get missed in sessions because we get lost with doing other things. But arguably, they form the most important basis of the coaching interactions that we're having. So Joao and I would like to kind of collate some of these examples from you all. You can use the sheets on the other side to, when you send us the clips, you can either clip the recording or just send us the full recording and note the time of the interaction on the whole recording. But essentially, this would give us hopefully a nice big range of ideas and some really cool ways in which you guys are interacting with the players. Does anyone have any questions on that one? Stunned silence. I'm assuming that's all straightforward. And I think I've spoken to a couple of you before about how sometimes when Joao and I are there observing, or you're being observed by another coach, that can impact you in a negative way because you feel the eyes are on you, you feel the ears are on you, and especially if I'm standing next to Sharif, you can feel my presence quite a lot. So I think doing it in this way you've got that maybe awareness that you're being recorded, but you don't have that same level of pressure that might be from someone watching in the moment. So this could be a really nice way to capture some stuff. We've been doing some of the stuff at Nottingham Forest for the last year, but it's doubled with audio, with the visual stuff, so with the video. Obviously, it would be quite either time-consuming or a bit of a constraint. Who's Liam's iPhone? Who's Liam? Any idea? Shall I let them in and see?
Just share the
PT coach.
Yeah, but I don't think he's not supposed to be here for this. Liam.
Hey guys, I'm driving, so I won't turn my camera on, but I thought.
Oh, Liam, thank you for coming, mate. Yeah, we wasn't expecting you, but great to have you on board, mate. We're just talking about some ways in which we're going to capture some coaching interactions, mate. So you haven't missed too much.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just thought I'd drop in and try and get a bit more wider view on the program and things while I was driving. I thought it was a good opportunity. So
yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely, you're welcome. We've just got a few more latecomers joining us, so I'll just delay what I was talking about while James is connected. Evening, James. You there?
Hi there. Yeah, sorry, mate.
No problem at all, mate. You've been training?
Yeah, so yeah, I had junior training. Yeah.
Good stuff. I was just explaining. I'm recording the session, by the way, so I'll send out the first bit so you can catch the first 15 minutes. Well, actually, the first 8 minutes was probably the most awkward small talk you'll hear in your life. So you can skip over that. No problem at all.
That's fantastic.
Although Grace did chip in with some comedy gold, so you can listen to that bit. So yeah, I was just talking about a small task that's going to be done at the weekend, James. It's an audio recording. So when you're delivering your session on Saturday, if you just plug your headphones into your phone and use the dictaphone to record the whole session, because we're going to try and pick out some good coaching interactions and wrap them around it. There's 5. I'll just reshare the screen. But we're going to wrap them around the. If you can see it, James, it's the 5 components here that are connected to the level 2 coaching qualification. But they're often the ones that get missed the most, and we would just like to try and capture some really good examples of that you guys are using. And there's a sheet on the other side that you can either send the full clip in, or cut the voice recordings if you can as well. So you can use that to send in, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right, so I'm going to stop that, and that will get sent out as a task. I need to very, very quickly look at the groups that we've got here. So Tom, Chris, Nadmi, you're all in the same group, weren't you? In the same group?
Yeah.
Yes, we are, so yeah. Do you guys want to kick us off with your session and talk us through it? I can give the screen sharing responsibilities to someone if you want, who's going to step up.
Admi, do you have it on your screen there?
No.
Okay, no.
I mean, I've got the document if you want me to share my screen and someone could talk.
Could you, yeah, because I've not got PowerPoint on this laptop, so it'll be like online.
No problem at all. Okay, here we go.
So Nadmi and Tom, you're going to have to kick us off, guys, because I wasn't there for this conversation. So is Tom still on?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was eating pizza before. I didn't want to show you all chowing down on a bit of pizza.
Bon appetit.
So for the first drill, we looked at
a sort of a rugby type game where basically the players pass the ball around. They've got to break through and put the ball down inside the D. But we're saying that we're going to bring in that when they were touched, they would lose possession of the ball. So then instantly be sort of turning the possession round. But during that game as well, we're also adding in a little bit around a bit of an observation task, so that rather than the players just looking at the ball, following what's going on, that if a player drops and does press ups, the player's got to do 5 press ups, and the opposition team have got to get over and try and do 3 press ups in the same time as the 5 press ups. If they fail, the team that started the press ups are going to get the points. If the other person gets over and does some press ups with them, that then sort of it's ruled out. So again, we're looking at people sort of having that bit more sort of observation of looking where the players are, trying to position themselves to try and work around that.
Okay, just remind me again, what happens if they, so let's say I did 5 press ups and Chris was marking me, or is aware of me doing those press ups, and Chris come over and did 3. What happens?
Nothing. It's then just ruled out. So you've then counteracted that. It's like you've gone out and made a tackle in a game. You've just sort of counteracted that attack. So nothing comes of it. However, if you don't get over, then the team that's decided to do the press ups, they'll get a point,
Okay,
as well as the points being scored for putting the ball down in the area as well.
Okay.
Basically, it's the normal game of the 3 versus 3. So we are looking to the team when they put the ball behind the line to score 1 point, and there is another point running when someone finish his 5 push-ups. It's like strength and skill, and then just for the other player to be aware what's happening around them. It's not just focusing as on the 5 point. We need to be aware what's happening behind us. So it's something else on the outside of the game. Yeah, and if he drop and do like 3 push-ups, then there is no points, right? But the point of the ball still running.
Yeah, I'm with you. So the other players would still have to try to make that tag.
Yes.
Against the player with the ball. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Anything else? Or just this is the generic warm-up game?
Yeah, that's general warm-up game. Yeah.
Okay, I'll move on to the next slide.
Yep. Yeah. So the next slide. So two lines of back players. So this is the variation. So the board now shows the variation, but the first one. So 2 lines of back players with 2 defenders in front of them. So let's say we start with the left back. So the left back make a 50% pressure on the defender. So just for the defender to be ready and pointing legs, defense positioning, then drop back and then attack the center sector. And the same defender make the lateral movement, and then we end up in 1 versus 1 on the 9 meters. So the 1 versus 1, if the defender, if the attacker come early and decide to shoot from the 9 meter, then defender should block. If he decide to go on 1 versus 1, then he should try to tackle him in 1 versus 1 situation. The variation after that, so then after you work on the left side, so you move on the right side, except for maybe the left-handed, because I don't know, we might not be agree about that, because we don't see a lot like left-handed shooting from the left side. It doesn't end up, I don't know why the right-handed player, they might end up on the left or on the right side shooting from the wrong place, but not the other one. Yeah, so the variation, as we are working from right side and left side, so the variation, when the left back make a pressure in 1 versus 1 with his defender, So we're gonna put another pivot, and that pivot will be protected by the other defender of the right side, and it will be a 2 versus 2. Is it clear, guys? Or you understand what I mean?
I'm not going to answer. I'm going to let other people jump in, Nadmi.
All right. So let's say the line of back player, the yellow one, right? So he make pressure on the yellow defender. Where are the arrow? So he make pressure on that one, and then drop, go backwards outside of the 9 meter, and then attack the center sector while that defender move at the center. After making like a 50% defense the first time, the second time to be 100%. It will be a 1 versus 1, and same for both sides. Okay, then the variation which is shown now on the screen. So the variation, the gray point, that is the pivot line player. So when the yellow one, the back player, make pressure on the back, yes, on the back defender, then that pivot will be protected by the red, yes, by the defender. So it will be a 2 versus 2. And the same thing from the right side. So the right side will be a 1 versus 1, then a 2 versus 2 with the right defender involved in the game.
So what does the L's mean? Sorry.
That's the left-handed.
Ah, right.
Hey, that's a left-handed player.
So you have one defender that goes out to the attacker. He makes
Yes.
his way back, and then effectively, then it's a 1 attacker versus 2 defenders. Is that right?
One attacker versus yeah, 1 attacker versus 2 defender and the pivot. It will be 2 versus 2.
Oh, sorry, the grey is the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the gray is the pivot. So one goes up out like on the 9 meters, and the other one drop to cover.
Yep.
So so the gamification in this situation, yeah, so it's a situation, but the gamification just like some constraint to make it like in form of game. So the gamification, with the normal situation, we try to make it on the normal situation. So if the attacker score, right? If he score, then the defender should run and get the ball from the goalkeeper at the center. It's like playing the center after a goal. While the attacker should run back. So that is 1 point. While the attacker should run back to the 9 meters. If he reached the 9 meters, then there is no point. That to encourage the returning in defense.
Nadmi, can you just clarify the restart action? So the defender would run to the middle to receive the pass from the goalkeeper, yeah?
Yes. So
And
okay.
Go on.
Yeah, so let's say the attacker, he get past the defender, okay, in 1 versus 1. So in 2 versus 2. So attacker, the back and the pivot. So he get past the defender, and then he went and scored.
Yep.
After he scored, so he needs the defender, as the normal game. After someone score, we need to run and play the center very quick. So the defender should run, get the ball from the goalkeeper. If he get the ball at the center before the player who shoot reach the 9 meters, then there is no point.
Okay.
There is no point. If he get if the attacker reach the 9 meter before they play the center, play the center. That means get the ball at the center. That means it's a point.
Okay, so there's an opportunity for the defense to wipe out the goal if they make the fast restart.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
And then if they lose the ball, it's like a normal game. If the attacker, the backcourt player should be blocked or shoot out, the ball was saved,
Yep.
then it's a normal game. It's a 2 versus 2
Fast break.
fast break.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to your last exercise.
Yeah. So the last exercise, Bobby, you're gonna help me on this one. So it's kind of montée inversée. You know the montée inversée. Montée inversée. So yeah. Let's say so. It's with the number. It's easy. So ball at the left back, right? So when the ball, so it's 3 versus 3. One ball running the running just simple running the ball. So ball at the left back. Yes. Pass to the center. That's the first pass. Pass to the center. When the ball reach the center, so the left back defender, the red one, run and try to touch him. It's like the tag rugby, you know. Try to touch him. If he touch him, then 3 times, then they lose the ball and they change. So just running the ball. So left to the center, the left back run and try to touch the center. If the center pass, the number 2 pass to the left back, then it's the center who need to put like touch the 6 meter with his foot and then run up and try to touch the player.
So no, do me a favor, mate. Start again. I'm going to try and use the ball and the players to follow. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start.
The pass start. The ball starts.
The ball starts with the right back. Yes. So if the ball goes to the center, so
yep.
the left back defender run and try to touch the player.
This one
yes,
or this
yes.
one?
Yeah, the center.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if the ball when the ball goes from the center to the left back, yes. So the center should touch the the center defender, yes, should touch the line and then up and try to touch the player holding the ball.
Okay.
Okay. When the ball number 3 now, when the ball goes back to the center, right? So when the ball goes back to center, it's the opposite right back who try to touch him. Yes.
Yeah.
And then when the ball goes to the right back, it's the center who need to touch the line.
The same one from before.
No. The new center.
This one,
Yes, the new center try to touch the line. And then try to
then go out.
And then go out to the right back.
Tackle. Okay. And tell me what the defenders are now learning in this situation.
So it's speed reaction, defense positioning, awareness about that crossing. It's not like the 5-1 how it works, but it's just for the movement, leg work, and then the gamification here. If they be touched 3 times, then they swap. So attacker should run the ball quick, defender should move and run, not lateral, so run and then go up, run and then go up while the ball is running outside the 9 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
there was a lot of it to work on as well. That defenders sort of getting that anticipation of driving out, but also then as soon as the opportunity's gone, that they can't make that tackle, that they're getting back in. To say there was a pivot player there, that again it's that swapping over and getting into the right position and then going out to make the tackle on the player that they should be. But by changing it round, they've got more awareness that actually who am I actually tackling now? So they're not just going, oh, that's my player, when 2 players have potentially think they've got the same one. Whereas now they've got to think, and it's that sort of bigger picture of, right, who should I be going? They're out of position, so that's now my player. And it's sort of playing around with that as well.
Mm-hmm. I can definitely see that there's an issue for the defenders to have to cope with counting, recognizing who their player is, lots of movement related to defending, and then the tackling aspect. So you get some individual defensive actions coming out of this. Question I have around the gamification side of it. First of all, just to be clear, is it 3 individual touches? So let's say that the left-hander makes 3 touches, they can switch, or is it 3 touches for the whole team and then the whole team switches?
Well, so yeah, this is a good question, Bobby, but it depends, let's say the group and the team, the level that you have. So yeah, you can make an individual one or a group one. If the group one is like a bit difficult from the beginning, so you can do it like 5 touches.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
What in terms of the defenders trying to defend properly, when the left back and the right back or the centre have the ball, I mean, I guess right now it's only the left back and the right back that are moving towards the 6 meter. What is their objective?
Their objective is to make pressure and run the attacker, you speak, or defender.
The attacker, what's their attacking objective? Just to run forward or to get to the 6 meter to shoot?
No, just run the ball, just to push the defender to work more and run quickly, and yeah, speed and defense positioning, and it's kind of footwork. So it's basically honestly, it's like, let's say if the theme is a 3-3 defense, so it's amazing. But for the footwork as the defense is the normal like skills. So you need to move and run. So
in my opinion, to get the maximum out of the defensive action, the attackers need to behave like attackers, and that would be either breaking through or shooting if they had the chance to pull out those the defensive actions. The attackers need an incentive. So if you're thinking about the gamification idea, how can the yellow team win? How can the attackers win?
Yeah, so that's on the variation. But as you said now, it's a good idea. So when you have the chance to shoot, if the defense is late, so you go and shoot, then you get the goalkeeper involved.
Yep.
And you shoot, and yeah, that makes sense. That's better.
We could also add in that number of passes for the attackers, so that if they manage to get 6 passes in without being tackled once, that's then sort of an objective for the attacking team.
Yeah. If we were looking at passing as our option or our skill that we're developing, I might agree with you, but
they're not driving in, then they're going to just pull back and
exactly, you won't get the defensive behaviours. So I appreciate where you're coming from a passing perspective. You get speed of passing and so on, but thank you, Nadmi, for clarifying on the variation, that there would be more incentive for them to try to score and definitely get the goalkeeper involved. The whole idea, guys, with me putting the amount of players on the court was that you used all of those players all the time, so we didn't have players sitting out. But we'll make sure when we do this again that one's covered. Okay. Anything else to say about this one, Nadmi, Tom, Chris?
I mean, potentially. I mean, I don't know if you just mentioned it there, but would have both courts. You'll have the same thing going on either side, because we've got an assistant, and then there's a lot more people involved. If you've got 12 players turning up anyway.
Okay, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Next group, I will open it up to the floor for whichever group is ready to go next.
You can go now.
Go on, mate.
And Chris.
Okay. Yes.
I was not on the session, so if you want, I can share the screen with the. Give me just 1 second.
So we also had Ollie and Zhao, who aren't here yet, but we can.
Joao's just got in, so he'll be here in a second.
Oh, perfect timing.
You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, what's the first exercise, Chris? Was Matt?
Yeah, I'll probably talk about this one. I reckon Matt will talk about the second, and then Bruno can talk about the third.
Yeah.
Any chance you could full screen it for me, please?
Yes. Where is my?
Play my eyesight doing.
Where is the full screen? Wait a second. How do I full screen this?
Just click the slideshow button, Bruno.
Where is that?
bottom right next to the
Bottom
minus
right
and plus
here.
button.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
looking
okay.
bottom left.
We got that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
Exercise 1. Okay, cool.
That's fine. It's fine. So we were talking in our group about making it clear that if we have 3 exercises, it's good to build up what the technical and tactical aspects. So we talked a lot about in this first exercise, making sure that we highlighted technical skills that are maybe clearer when we talk about attack, but less clear when we talk about defense. So here, I'm going to point this out straight away. We did acknowledge that there were 12 people, but this changes over quickly. So they're only standing on the side as they're coming back from the fast break.
Yep.
So what we've done here is we've done 3-on-3 into goal. So we have looking at the really key aspects. So we're thinking about basic positioning. We talked about having a ball in your hand to think about how important when you do have your hands, how that's an advantage, but your defense with ball in the hand. And the attackers are trying to break through, either they'll foul or they'll have a shot on goal. So we've had it as, so you have the point like you would do in a 5-1, but your 2 number 2s. And then whatever channel either the shot happens in or the error happens in, that is where the fast break starts. We recognise that if you're defending with a ball in your hands as a constraint, that's good as a lesson point. But then what would happen? There'll be a lot of balls on court when we then go into the fast break. So we've said that we'll put those into the D, and then the fast break can start. And then the player from the attacking team that either made the mistake or took the shot, they have to go, say, for example, round the back of the goal before they can then join the fast break. From a defensive point of view, we want to really take it back down to those basic individual skills, which we think we can do here, while also having in the context of when you defend in a game, because I think sometimes the really basic drills we do are good for learning, what your body position is, for example, but then you put them on court next to a D and it can kind of be lost. So that's why we've done it here. So we've got that individual level, but also in the context of, how you play handball. We have an attacking constraint as well. So they can only take 3 steps, just so you have that fast turnover. And then if they are being slow in wanting to attack, we're going to give a limit of passes onto the attack. So we get a result and we see that high quality defense and then quick turnover. So those 6 on the side aren't kind of out for long. I think that's everything we wanted to say.
Anything to add?
Yeah.
Bruno?
Matt?
I think it's a big race from what I remember on Monday.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you want to go on to the next slide?
Okay.
So the second exercise was to build on the first one. So still looking at the individual skill element, but adding in an element of cooperation for the defender and additional movement as well. So covering the line player as well as defending against the back. So we've gone with a 5 versus 4 with 2 line players. So essentially then the theory is whichever side, whichever back has the ball, there could potentially be a 2v1. So the defence, particularly the back 3 defenders, have to work quite hard and quite quickly to be able to cover the space. So they have to cooperate quite well. The point defender has to work to prevent the ball going back behind them. So still the same individual focus for the players coming out to defend the backs and their footwork. There's no ball this time, so we're going to allow them to defend properly. Again, the back players would still be aiming to break through, but it'll be full defence. We've got the black markers there as the kind of the area of the court that they can work in. And we've said, depending on the success of the attack or defence, you can vary that. So one idea was that every 3 successful actions of the defence, then you can make the area wider to challenge them even more. There was a constraint, the attack around the line players had to be on separate halves of the court just to give the defence a more realistic kind of job in defending.
Yeah.
And in terms of rotating the players, so there's 4 of the yellows on and 2 off, and we said we'd change that every 3 sets. So essentially they're involved for 6 out of every 9 sets, and the attackers would rotate every time there's a breakthrough. So again, should be quite a quick rotation from there.
Very good. Any questions, anyone? Okay, move on.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, it's my turn. So this will be a 6 versus 6 full court. So, okay, first part of the exercise. Attack cannot shoot. There is no goalkeeper. They will just move the ball from right to left, attacking the space. The coach, assistant coach, and the coach would simply, if they see the defenders were not like in the correct positions, they will just stop and just correct that positioning. After passing, let's say like 10-20 seconds, the coach will just will blow the whistle. The attacker that has the ball needs to pass the ball to the AC that's inside of the area. The attackers, the ones that were attacking, run back to defense, and the ones that are defenders make a fast break. So 6 against 6, 6 against 6 on the other side of the pitch with shot on the goal. So basically the defense 5-1, we would apply the 5-1 defense on a real situation, on a 6 versus 6. What would be the how do I say, the constraints? The attack on the first instance, the counter attack. You could not dribble when you do the counter. One of the constraints. The goal of this exercise is for, on the fast break, every single player needs to score a goal to win the match. Okay, so that will be the goal. So okay, let me explain. Let me now just explain how this would consist. So first team just attacking the space, just making the ball go from one side to another. Whistle, the ball goes to the coach. The ones that were attacking goes to defense. The ones that are defending go to attack. They finalize the counter attack, and we will repeat again the exercise on the other side. Goalkeeper goes to the other goal. And that should be it, like applying already the 5-1 defense on a 6 versus 6 situation. No more than that.
Okay, I'm keen to understand that. So the red team would go to counter attack. The yellow team would try to return quickly to a 5-1 defense. Yeah. I am imagining a lot of failure from the red team counter-attacking. So dropping the ball, technical mistakes, and not achieving the outcome of then testing the yellow team's 5-1. So what would you do to change the practice if that happened?
Probably I would reduce the number of players and try to do let's say a 3 versus 3 on the central area. So they have plenty of space to attack, and they will be more successful.
Okay, I'm thinking that you could still do something similar to this, but with reducing the need to have the counter attack. Has anyone else got any suggestions that might prompt some creativity in this one? Okay, do we need to have the counter attack on the full court? Could we start the could we start the players higher up the court so they don't have to run the full court for the counter attack? Does that make sense? So let's say the yellow team were going to move down. Could the red team start on the halfway line, their arrival, and have the yellow team disorganized instead of running the full court and making 3 passes and dropping the ball? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Or can I say something? Maybe?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. This is our session.
Yeah, so it might be just a suggestion, when they play the counterattack. So if the ball reached the half court, none of the defender could get involved in the returning in defense. So just to like number reduce of the player. So either you. So I think it will be like some late return. That late return are not allowed to get involved if the ball get past the as soon as the ball get past the half court.
So I'm seeing this exercise as not really a 1-for-5-1 on this stage and age of player. I'm seeing it as a counter-attacking exercise myself.
It's just maybe the count. So the first half is the 5-1, but then encouraging the transition, maybe with this way, then they get back to the normal 5-1 because they have, as he said, they have to play again in 6-versus-6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I understand. Personally, I'm not convinced that this is going to bring the best outcomes for this age and stage of player for teaching 5-1 at this stage. That's my view. I think it needs to be. I think it should be changed to be simpler.
Can I add something, Bobby?
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Sorry for being late. I was on the EPA training session. So when Bruno presented this with the notes in the email, my thoughts or my views were a little bit that we are losing the main part of the drill of the outcome in the first bit. So the first bit being just a passing X number of passes and whistle the coach. So we are losing the main outcome of our block, that is defense and defense plus counter. So there's no counter if we are not being able to defend the ball. So that needs to be our key element. Can be a 6v6, no problem with that. So they need to know the small group tactics, but also the collective group tactics and the individual stuff in the 6v6. But this first part of the drill needs to have some sort of outcomes. And something that I suggested was, how can we work on a part of the defense? Can it be? How can we work on a part of the defense to raise it like that? So one thing that we spoke is to work on the number 1 and number 2 aggressiveness on the opposite side of the ball, to make it more anticipatory in their action, and with that promoting the interceptions. And those interceptions will make that fast break, that counter attack that we want to achieve, instead of having just a passing and then return and fast break, that the ball can be lost and then set the 5-1, and then only there we are working on the 5-1. At least is my view.
Yeah, I agree completely on that one as well, Joao. It was going to be another point I made about the initial part, but. Yeah, I really think the transitional element would cause some problems on the return. But anyway, we'll discuss, me and Joao are going to discuss the plans and send out some information for tomorrow, for the weekend. We need to move on to the next part of the meeting now. So Joao, have you got the rights to host? You're on mute, mate.
Host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Bruno is still the host.
The admin.
Can you give Joao the hosting rights, please?
Yeah, now I can. Okay. Here. Are you seeing black screen? Oop. Okay, now I'm here. I don't know why. but okay.
I've never seen that before.
Okay, okay.
Quite cool.
Hello. Okay, it's Zoom calling, so let's do it like this. I will try to, let me see, to put myself shorter. Yeah, good. Okay, and up. Okay, yeah, to fool around. Okay, so the idea was to try to make a presentation similar that one that we did before the start of the block number 1. Okay, and so before we start speaking about this tournament in December, a little bit of what we did before. So my view was oh, something's wrong over here. This is not the presentation. Another ones. I'm sorry. Was the previous PowerPoint, sorry. Yeah, so a review what we did in the attack. Do you remember what we worked? Everyone is in that page of which contents we work on. What were the qualitative and quantitative indicators of the attack? Remember someone to say three quantitative indicators in the attack that we spoke that we weren't achieving for the first block. So my question, have everyone understood more or less? Okay, what were the main things that we could count and see in the games of the tournament to prep the attack block? Remember this? How many goals? How many shots? No?
Turnovers.
What?
Turnovers.
Exactly. Okay, a little bit on that. Okay, so we said about this. Okay, so we said about this that we saw in the regional academy of July there were not many shots, not too many goals, a lot of turnover, a lot of technical fouls, some physical contacts provoking some falls. So we saw in the game all of this. Remember? Okay, remember this? Okay, so this was in September. What about now? Have we improved this or not? What's your view, Sharif?
I really think we had improved from September to, I mean, because we concentrated on attack only. I think it was an improvement during the regional academy, I think. So, yeah, so I think it was an improvement from if you're talking about from July to December. Yes, I mean the 3 months that we spent. I mean the first bit that we did, it was concentrating on shooting and attack, and then combination, like how to run the ball, So I think seeing a bit of improvement.
Okay, so on the videos that I select today for the analysis, we'll focus on the defense. What I will challenge you as a homework for you to see the videos that Bobby upload on the YouTube on the HF channel to see if you can confirm this. Count the goals, count the shots, count the technical fouls, and see if the game progressed or not since September on your own academy. Can you do that? Okay. Compare the game of your academy in July with the one in July. Yeah, in July with the ones in December. Can be something for you guys to do. Okay. Then we set this content. So a lot of ball handling in the training sessions, a lot of offensive movements in the training sessions, a lot of shooting, jumping shots, a lot of drills allowing this stuff. Okay. This was in September. Once more, what about now? Now it's time for defense and counter. So the same stuff will run to see the behaviors, the indicators, the goals, the contents, and the methods to work on this. Okay. So let's start with the video. The same to see top level. Okay. And Are you seeing the video? Not yet.
Not working, mate.
Huh? Not working?
Okay.
Still not working?
Yeah, still not working.
Have the link, Joao.
Hmm?
You have the link. Is it a file or is it a link? Or you can share the file in the chat if it's not big.
Wait, let me see if I can. I think now you can. You can?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, let me just take the, yeah. Okay, good.
French has been quite solid. French, in fairness, French has been quite solid there. Gone back to 6-0. The 2 Olympics himself. World Championships and 6 European Championships. Wing, no space there. Brilliantly played, but Tally with the 2 French wingers. Remili tries to go through. Guesson, then trying to open up the centre.
So what we can see here is a lot of anticipatory skills, a lot of aggressiveness, collaboration, because the hall is empty, you can hear them speak between each other. This collaboration, some mistakes, of course, also in changes, a lot of contacts, and to search the ball continuously in this play. Okay, the same in another type of defense. Maybe the structure is different. You can see a different structure, but the behaviors are more or less the same.
Say that defense, the black team, they're much kind of more. They're more solid at the back, not less movement, whereas the previous defense was so much more movement from all the players around the D coming out to the attackers. On this one here, you know, they're very kind of static and less movement. I suppose there's benefits to both, really.
Yeah, you can compare, but I don't see them static. You see this prep. They are prep to do the interception. They are prep for the physical contact.
I think
they create the doubt, right?
For me, it's more like, you know, there is the change.
I'm not comparing one with the other. For you, for you to see different types of defense and the same attitude, the same behaviors, right?
Exception.
Okay, yeah. So this is what you see nowadays in top level. You cannot set if it's a 5-1 or 6-0 or set behaviors, but very the defenders are attackers. Okay, in defense. That is my main cue for this. Okay, and what about us? What about us in the regional academies? Okay, I set this is a 8-minute video, a little bit longer than I wanted. I wanted 6 minutes, but so for you to see some stuff around, and like before, I put videos from all the academies. Okay, boys, girls, for the performance, but from all the academies. Okay. grabbing without any intent to go for the ball. Here this is very nice to see. So the girl bounces, collects the ball, and you see the defender doesn't go for the dispossess of the ball. She goes for the grabbing of the player. Defending inside the D, but also some nice behaviors, and this is some nice. So to go for the ball, despite it's a tackle, but going for the ball, creating some doubts in the offense. Here the same, some contact from face to face. This is what we look for. Some contact, some block, some collaboration with the goalkeeper. Some cooperation between players. Again, change, cooperation, creating the mistake, okay?
Zhao, what I find difficult to try and train these boys is when you say a 5-1 defense, the 5 guys think...
Sorry, I wanted to stop to hear you. Yeah, go.
So when I say 5-1 defense, the 5 defenders, they think to themselves, okay, I have to stay on 6 meter line. I cannot press high. But that's what I find the hardest thing to explain is, yes, it's a 5-1 defense, but the number 2 defenders, the number 1 defenders should press high, especially when the ball is not on their side, especially when the pivot is not on their side. They should feel free to step up to 9 meters to try and steal the ball. And at the moment, I'm really struggling to get that message across to the guys I'm coaching at the university now. So to see how the regional academy boys react to this type of mindset.
Yeah, you are speaking about an element that is key, that is to defend the opposite side of the ball. To don't be spectators. You will see some footage of that not intent to try to go for the ball. So we'll address it a little bit later on. Tammy, is okay? But yeah, so to like this, okay? Number 2, okay, you missed the interception, number 1, but the intent is there. Okay, this intent to try to go for the ball and then to tackle. Okay, so we are able already to do some stuff to create some doubts. Okay, she missed, but the intent is there again from the number 1 defender to compensate the mistake. Some things that we need to take attention. That's why I put this one. Now that we will work defense and interception, pay attention to the rules. Okay, to intercept, the ball fall on the floor. If you catch, you cannot bounce again. So now we will have that element to work on. Okay. And now some problems regarding the marking, the positioning, the footwork that you'll see. So why the point player is after the half-court line, and now he's a spectator. And now these ones are in trouble. Okay? Allowing this play from behind, she's not defending. Okay? She's a spectator.
So it's almost in a 5-1, they're thinking they need to stay as a 1. They're not then getting back once that 5-1 has basically become unusable because they press so
high and so out of position. So the main thing is that we need to work on the individual elements, and we'll run to see which elements are those. See, from behind. Okay, she's not well positioned on the court. Even here, okay, he's surprised by the action. And you see this throughout all the academies, boys, girls. Even in a 6-0, okay, he steps out, he steps in, but now no collaboration between players after a 1v1. No communication, that's why the defender run after the pivots. Again, in a 5-1, this happens a lot, too easy. the point defender being feinted. A lot of times this also, you'll see a couple of clips with this. Allowing to play on the back of the playmaker, okay? Allowing number 2 to be feinted easily, okay? Sometimes about technique, sometimes about footwork, sometimes about positioning. Of course, the attack has skills, but yeah. Sometimes they are stronger than the defenders, yeah, but to don't be out of position, okay? I'm not stopping because I think it's very clear. Then the last bit, the defenders overcommitting. Okay, you'll see, especially the number 1s, number 2s, and number 1s overcommitting to the actions. See, he doesn't have nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, here the defender, no, he didn't win any space, and he allows this pass to happen. Okay, again, this guy is not in a good position. Should be in front of the right back. Again, the same problem. Number 1, overcommitting.
Yeah, wrong person committing. Yeah.
Even easy to see. Girls, boys, north, south, east, west, okay? Same issues to work on. Now, a little bit on defense plus the counterattack stuff, okay? Interception, why not go fast, okay? We are walking with the ball, okay? Interception, good passes, okay? Not non-handball passes, let's say like this. Some non-principles of counterattack, okay? So we need to stay in some way to allow this counter to happen. You'll see now a couple of good actions of defense plus counter. Why she, why she misses this pass? The same reason, this one, the next goal. For the same reason as the other boy. You'll see now, this winger on the fast break, you need to stop your feet to pass, to make a steady pass, okay? And then you run after that, okay? So this is crucial. Pass, stop, pass, stop, pass, stop, and run. The guys that don't have the ball are the ones that run faster. The one that has the ball needs to run a little bit slowly, okay? But if we maintain the principles of fast break, we'll score some easy goals. So all of this, interception and 3 channels of the fast break to allow us to score. Already we are doing some good stuff, okay? Now it's to be able to do this more often. And the last bit, because in defense we need to speak about goalkeeper, okay? So put your goalkeepers passing the ball fast for the fast break. After, let me put this again. After a save, you'll see now Santina is doing a save, but see the way that she's doing the pass. Oy, again, sorry. Hard to stop without passing for the next slide. You know, okay, let me see if I can stop. Ooh. You see her foot? Okay, her feet. He's moving whilst doing the pass, being able to start the transition from the goalkeeper. And with that, easy goals. Okay, so we saw a couple of footage from all the academies, boys and girls. So now what this means, okay? So in comparison, what were the quantitative and qualitative behaviors and indicators that you see different, okay? What you see in our level that is different than the Croatia and the Portugal's defense. Open discussion.
Speed of our defense, particularly that Croatian, the speed of everything at Elite was so much quicker. So I think,
so what you mean in terms of speed of the footwork, James?
Yeah, sorry, the footwork in defense. Yeah, I have to say we're a bit heavy-footed, a bit slow in that respect.
So yeah, let me do this. Okay, can you see it again? Okay, let's put a little bit here. Okay, improve footwork, speed. Okay, any more inputs?
Movement. Movement.
What do you mean by movement, Sharif?
Like, just the way, like you were saying, like, a combination. Once the 1v1 happens, there's not enough support. So that that movement of,
Okay, so two different things. You were speaking about cooperation between players.
Yeah, and like the way, knowing where to go and how you position your feet.
Okay, yeah. Said movements, a link with what James said on the improved defensive movement needed to also
coming out to the attack. I think from our perspective, we weren't as particularly when we were looking at videos where in the defensive line, the defense had the wrong attacker, as it were. So there was huge gaps between the last defense on the left and the second defender. That second defender needed to come out to commit to that defender much quicker instead of just staying on the line.
I think counting.
Not being in front of or not quick enough to step out of the tackle or for the pressure or for the dispossession or whatever.
I think it's counting, yeah.
Counting, so to don't be in front of the accurate player. That is about positioning.
And I think there's a little bit about controlled aggression as well.
Yeah.
What, Tom?
Controlled aggression.
We have.
Sorry, you kept breaking up there.
I was saying controlled aggression.
Controlled aggression.
And I'm asking if we have aggression or if you.
Except you can be too aggressive, can't you? And that's when you're rushing out and being out of position.
Okay.
And overcommit, which is...
Yeah. But then if you're not aggressive enough, you're just sitting back on 6 meters.
Okay. So let's put like back once. Okay. Between. Okay.
I think a lot of it.
Wow, we're not listen. We can't hear you very well. You're cutting off.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going on? Okay, so Wi-Fi. Not better. Not better.
That's better now, I think.
Let's see. Okay.
Turning your camera off now.
Joel, turn your camera off. I think.
Okay. Yeah, good idea. Let's stop video. Okay.
That's better.
That's much better.
Good.
Lack of collaboration. I think particularly with Croatia, you saw that they were very much defending in sort of 2s, 3s, 4s, and units to close down to stop any sort of passes coming across. Left them a bit vulnerable from behind from pivots, but there was a much better collaboration from the elite style rather than from us very sort of defending as an individual.
This cooperation, collaboration, yeah.
The level of anticipation within there as well, though. Obviously,
yes,
we probably lack that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for a lot of them, it's a complete mindset change. I think the biggest difference I saw overall is that in the professional level, you see they're trying to win the ball back. They're not necessarily, it's not even about overcommitting. It's that want to win the ball, and they're trying to make the attack make the mistake. But with our kids, we're seeing them wait for the attack to do something and then react.
Yeah.
So that's why they're out of balance. That's why they're not cooperating with each other. That's why they're tackling, like over tackling, because something has happened and then they're reacting rather than like causing.
Lack of notion can be, Grace, lack of notion can be
yeah.
Anticipation is not like this. Anticipation. It's not. It's with an eye like this. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My fault.
And with that, João, it's also that discipline. There was a few times there where we had people tackling from the side or not or going around with them, so they're both facing goal, and that's just obviously not great defending at all. So it's just that discipline and defense as well, keeping yourself in front.
I think I agree with you, James, there with the discipline. With when we've seen so many times where the point number one, the ball action is happening behind them, and they're just like ball watching what's happening behind them.
But that, do you think it's about discipline or it's about positioning? So lack of
positioning
knowledge
is one thing, but they think that they're playing out and that's it. You know what I mean? They don't think that they need to come back and help. That's the difference. It's just that's a positioning, but on the same time, like, it's a discipline. Come back and help. You need that footwork. You need that, you need that understanding of the game and a discipline that James is talking about, I think.
Okay, now let's go for good input on the qualitative side. Now let's go for numbers. Okay, what you saw in the tournament and now in these small clips in terms of numbers that we can compare, that we can say about our defense. What you saw?
Steals, deceptions, number of tackles.
A lot of steals or not a lot.
Not a lot.
Okay, few. So let's put like this. Okay, good. Interceptions. Yeah.
Tackles.
Yeah, good. I'd say we had good confidence in going to contact when the positioning was right. But I think when our positioning is wrong, obviously we weren't getting that contact correct. But I do think there's a good confidence level there, which is good.
Okay, but now we are, it's true, James, but now we are seeing numbers. How can you assess with numbers the confidence?
Saves.
Saves, not enough saves from the goalkeepers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lack of urgency.
Lack of?
Urgency.
Lack of, sorry, Shuri.
Urgency.
How do you quantify urgency, Shuri?
I think when you see that you picked up the ball, you nicked the ball, and then you're not trying to play fast. That's the lack of urgency. Like, not pushing, not pressing up high, not all that stuff. So that's how I quantify it.
Okay, that's hard. Okay, some things to
position of the shot.
What, Grace?
Position of the shot. So either who's broken through 9, who's shooting from 6. Are we forcing them to shoot wide?
Okay, I like that. So
options,
we are shooting more, less. We are scoring more, less.
From the footage you usually showed, there seems to be a lot being able to break through the middle, whereas in the pros we're seeing a lot more, I think, wing shots. But,
okay, so let's put like this, more goals, more or less goals and shots. Okay, right? Yeah. And those shots and those goals are mainly because of defense, or because the defense is not good, or because the attack is good.
I think that the defense is bad.
Okay, we need to improve the defense. So the goals are happening not because the attack is good, but because we need now to improve the defense. That's the statement, right, Grace?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I think it's a good starting point. From my view, I will go a lot with what you said. So this was the stuff that I from my analysis. So you can see the players being able to do more ball handling stuff around the attack, around they are from the last bit that we analyzed. Now we have more shots, more goals for more players, but those goals are more from the lack of the defensive quality rather than, not a lot, but yeah, often good offensive actions. Okay, like you said, very few goals scored after an interception. I choose very wisely and very almost all that I saw in the games, and still a huge break of the rules of the game. Okay, and also from non-intentional fouls, so that grabbing that we spoke. Okay, how can we quantify this? A little bit like this. Okay, so more goals more shots than before, not as much goals. Okay, some breakthroughs, but some shots from the wings that are not always good. Still some technical fouls, but mainly a lot of technical fouls in the fast break. Okay, we can see there's not enough interceptions, and the physical contacts are a little bit unstable, like you said. Okay, so what this means? This means we have now a space to define some goals for this second block. Okay, and from my view, this should be the 4 goals that you need to set mainly for your team. Okay, so marking in defense, defensive movements, the defensive stance and positioning, and the principles of the fast break of the content. Okay, so in terms of contents, for the development groups, we would say these 4. Okay, to try to recover the ball as fast as possible without falls, but through interceptions, some marking changes. Okay, to try to cooperate a little bit near the area, to increase as much possible the individual notion, or where is the ball, what's your player, where is the goal. Okay, so you need to ask the players constantly, not every time verbally. Okay, so you need to challenge the players to ask always, where is the ball, who is my player, and if the goal is on my back. Okay, constantly to intercept and then to progress to a fast break. Okay, and in the counter-attack principles, to maintain the 3 channels of the fast break, but to be able to do ball handling stuff whilst running. Okay, so to do it in a higher speed means that you need to stop, to pass, to catch the ball with both hands, and then run again. Okay, so on these goals, for the performance, a little bit the same on the number 1 and on the number 4. Okay, some changes around the marking and the positioning. Okay, on the marking, because the level is a little bit higher, to be able to sometimes set your opponent, sometimes choose the opponent that is in front of you. Okay, and to be able to change your position, not always the same way, more depth, less depth. Is he near the goal, far away from the goal? Does he have the ball? The ball is on the opposite side. On the performance group, to be able to develop this type of content. Okay. For these contents that are here, the same that we challenged before. Okay, which can be the critical components of these elements. Okay, on the tackling, 2. Alex, 2 elements for you to feedback on the tackling. Alex, are you there? Demis?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm just
Okay, on the tackling, 2 elements for you to feedback to improve the tackling of the players.
So I'd work on foot positioning, and so that side-on position for foot. So footwork is one of them, and the other one would be the actual tackle itself. So wrist, go for the wrist for the winner shot, and the other hand
for the wrist,
grab the wrist as they're going to shoot. So go for the wrist to bring down and hold the chest, well the stuff, arm around the body when making the tackle. So that things I'd focus on. The footwork.
That is important. I will have a technical correction over there for you, for all of you. So if you go for the wrist nowadays, the ball will get some speed. Okay? Yeah? So in the tackling, if you go for the wrist, can you see my, I know you cannot.
No, your camera is off.
The video. Can you see me now? Okay? Yeah? If you go for the wrist, the ball will increase the speed. Okay? By doing this. So the idea is that you should go for the arm and for the ball. Okay? For this part of the arm and for the ball. To swipe the ball. Okay? From here down and then to swipe the ball from the hand. Clear from everyone? Were you able to see? Yeah?
Yeah, we saw.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Namely, for the interceptions.
I was on mute. Yeah, so interception, I think is very important, the timing of the movement and being ready on your toes to go and jump and intercept the ball.
To react to go for the interception.
So that's what I think on the video. That's what we saw. So lots of the players, boys and girls, are flat on their feet, and they can't react quickly to go and intercept. They are waiting for the defender, the attacker, to come and to tackle him. And most of the time, if they are in that position, they can't win the challenge. So if they, let's say, ready on their toes and ready to react forward and to anticipate, then it will be easier for them to intercept.
Let me catch on this element that Naidman said that I think is crucial, that stands a lot on the interception and tackling, of course, but a lot on the stance. So you see them on the video with the hands. I say this a lot of times to the kids, like the cowboy. The hands are on the pockets to draw the weapons, right? So the hands are not like in fencing. The hands need to be like in fencing. You need to be ready with your hands, with your toes, with your body to go for everything. And that diagonal position that maybe was speaking about on the positioning side and on the stance is crucial to don't be flat-footed. Okay, that 80-20 position that we speak a lot. So all of this needs to come in here. We need to feedback on the players all about this. Okay, to finish this part, just giving can be Tom on the passing and catching in fast break, 2 elements that are crucial.
With the passing, that the player needs to be a bit more static, that they're not running and trying to make the pass. And then with the catching, I think it's a lot of it's to do with the movement as well, of where they're moving to receive the ball, depending on the starting positions, because normally it's going to be your wingers who are going down court and they want to try and stay as wide as possible until they're then going to cut in. And I think it's having that link up with the players that are passing to know where their natural arc's going to be, depending on where the defenders are.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's it. And last one, because I forgot this one, Chris, on the defensive movements.
So look at starting position in the defensive system that you're using, and then also position of the feet when moving.
Exactly. That's it. Okay. So in these marking changes, in this positioning, you have the collaboration that we spoke before. Okay, yeah. So now, to finish up, we need to choose the methods Okay, which methods to try to enhance these acquisitions. Okay, a lot of are the same from the first block. We need to give a little bit more meaning to this. So still a lot of time each player with one ball. Okay, they don't have the handball so much. So give them the ball in their hands a lot of the as much as possible. Okay, drills in different parts of the court, sometimes or often near the goal areas. Okay, and with opposition. Okay, vary the space, sometimes smaller, sometimes wider. Okay, and as possible, try to connect that with the transition phase. So defense plus counter. Okay, all the drills regarding passing, catching, dribbling, shooting, always with opposition. Okay, as possible with in-game scenarios and with some small number of players and with the attacking with +1 to give that movement that Matt was speaking about on that drill of the 5v4, to force the defenders to move and to adjust. Okay, and when possible, also try to connect with the transition. Finally, long time playing handball. Okay, long time with this playing handball, but work on defense. How can we put some constraints? No dribble, one dribble, X number of bounces, just a bounce pass, just some type of passes, changing the number of players, and trying as much to promote the interceptions. So to force them to come outside and to be in the position to take off the ball. So why not? After an interception, takes 2 goals, or give them a 7-meter throw, or give them the possession. Okay, something to try not to stop the attacker grabbing with the fall. Okay, so I think this is the main thing. Now, how can we put all of this? From my view, using all of this. Okay, it needs to be a mix of all of this. Game scenarios with constraints, some drills, some small-sided games, working more in the individual than on the group in the collective, but also working on the group in the collective. A little bit of everything. You have space and the time to use it properly and to enhance this type of behaviors and acquisitions from my point of view. Okay, yeah, mainly was this. I delayed a little bit on the technical issues, but I more or less followed the time.
Thanks, Joel. I'm just going to finish off with one very, very quick slide. I'll let you go, guys, in a second, because there was some comments that were made about discipline and players not helping, and Alexander mentioned something around being explaining to the number 2 defenders to not let the left backs get close to the 9 meters because they stay too flat and so on. And what I wanted to ask is how much of that was seen in the session plans that were delivered earlier. So if I'm sharing this slide now, how many times in the videos did we see the left back or the right back moving into the space behind the point defender, being high? I heard the comments that the line player, the point defender would lack discipline, or so on and so forth. But how many of your practices had opportunities for the point defender to actually move down and intercept or block that pass from back to back? Okay, so I don't think there was any in the ones I've seen, and I've just looked through Alexander's groups that has been sent through. Whilst there's games going on where the 5-1 defense is in play, there doesn't appear to be any constraints or incentives or such for the point defender to actually close that off. So we could quite easily make a game where the yellow team, they achieve points by passing from back to back. Okay, and then that would incentivize the point defender to come down. And the same goes for the number 2 defender on this side, going out and pressing the left back if the pivot and the ball was on that side. I think, Nadmi, your group potentially had something that was quite similar to that, but at the same time, how much are we making reference to that in the practice to the players, or are they just doing the practice? Okay, so as part of the task that I set at the beginning of the session, Alexander, you'll see it now. 1 second. those of you that join late, this is the task for the weekend. We're going to be looking when you make your recording this weekend of the using your dictaphones, your voice recordings. We'll be looking at these 5 components that are connected to the level 2 coaching criteria, and hopefully it will be making specific these comments that you make, and we'll be making specific reference to those moments. Okay, to that to things like that point defender, number 2, protecting the pivot, and so on. Okay. Joao, did you want to say something on that?
No, just to complement your thought on what we said on Bruno's drill on that 6v6, when I was saying work on a specific part of the defense, can be this that Bobby said. Okay, work on a part, the point defender and number 2, or number 2 and number 1.
The transfer from practice to game will only be as good as the conditions that you put on the practices. Yeah, you can tell a player 100 times, but unless they practice it in the training as a result of the conditions and the constraints you put in, the transfer will be much less. Okay, so it has to be reflected in your practices, and that's why we're doing these types of tasks for you guys to practice manipulating the sessions. Okay, okay. Finally, just a big thank you for spending 2+ hours or 1.5 hours with me, and a little bit less with Joao. It's really hard for us to get together to do these things, as you know, but it's so vital that we stay connected, share all of the learning that we can to help enhance ultimately the players, because that's why we do the jobs that we do, right? So a big thanks from me, and a big thanks to Joao for the amount of preparation he put into the presentation, because he works tirelessly on this stuff. So yeah, thank you, Joao. And guys, good luck this weekend on the training. I hope it all goes well, without issue, without traffic, without injuries, without all the stuff that we have all the time. And we'll catch up. We'll catch up again soon. All right.
When will this get sent out, Bobby?
Mate, I'm still working, so it will be with you in half an hour.
Amazing, thank you.
Not the session stuff. The sessions will come tomorrow, but the task and all that will come out.
And my presentation also with the contents and with the videos for you to analyze.
All right, cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Before you go, Bobby, can I ask a question before you leave?
Yeah, go on, Grace.
So you know you were talking about individual feedback to the players, and on your email you said to
yes,
Zoom
player assessment stuff. Yeah.
So do we then need to talk to all the parents and organise a chat with you?
So,
how does that work?
So you should speak to Pop. Pop. So when we've done this before, the regional academy manager for your region would normally be the one to organise the times, the review times, if it was going to be online. We've done it face to face in the past, so you're more than welcome to try, if you have the time and space at a session, to do it at a session. But it should only be like maximum 5 minutes per player. Like, it shouldn't need to be any more. It shouldn't be like a parents' evening, half an hour. It should be 5 minutes max. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely. Okay, then I'll let you speak to Pop about it on Saturday.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.